Alright guys, it is time to come clean about something. I've been dissing Adobe products for quite a while now.
Stop using Premiere Pro.
But it's time I was honest with you guys. I pay like $200 a year to Adobe because Lightroom, unfortunately, is the best photo editing software. It's true. Alright, so here's the deal. You're not a photographer, but you want to add a little spice, a little Salt Bae to your Instagram feed. And have you heard of this thing called Lightroom Mobile? However, sometimes professional tools and applications like this can be a little bit intimidating because they're made for professionals, for people who use them day in and day out and know all the ins and outs of them. But Lightroom is a super powerful tool and it's not that hard to get started. I'm going to walk you guys through editing your first photo in Lightroom. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take out that phone and you're going to download Lightroom Mobile.
Got the B-roll.
Wait, actually. So open Lightroom. First thing you're going to need to do is obviously add your photo into Lightroom. So there's this little icon down here. It's a little photo with a plus next to it. You're going to hit that button. And then you're going to go find the photo you want to import. I'm going to pick two of these right here. Bangers, absolute bangers.
Hot.
I'm going to hit add and it'll come up in all photos right here at the top. There we go. All right, click on your photo that you want to edit. First thing I like to do is adjust the exposure, and you're going to do that with this top slider right here. You can see this photo is a little bit light, a little bit kind of white looking. So I'm going to adjust that till the skin tones look nice and at a normal level. Now, remember, you don't have to be a photographer to do this. I'm not going to show you guys all the crazy advanced things. I'm just going to show you guys a couple of real simple steps to get your photos looking really clean, really nice, a little bit above the rest of your ops on Instagram, which is the only important thing, honestly. Adjust the exposure, that looks good. Come over here to shadows. Now, a big thing I like to do, this is all stylistic. This could be dependent on what you like, but I like to pull up the shadows a good bit and pull down the highlights a good bit and kind of balance out that photo in more of like a filmy way. So you can see if we go too high on the shadows, we do get the black starting to kind of look a little bit fuzzy. If we go too far down, obviously it looks like death. Kind of nice in the middle. And then whites is basically what the highlights is doing, but kind of in a little more of a color-based way, if that makes sense. So adjust those, adjust the blacks. Now, we're gonna slide over to the effects tab. Now, some of these controls are gonna be limited if you're not paying for the premium version of Lightroom. It's only $10 a month, and if you're gonna be making any money off of it, or if you just have $10 laying around, I'd recommend it. Obviously, I'm not an Adobe fan, but Lightroom is a really powerful tool, and it's worth it if you have the money. But the free version, super powerful, everything you need if you're not gonna get super into this. Gonna come down to clarity. You can become a meme very quickly if you crank the clarity all the way. Kind of a joke in the photographer community is that beginners always just crank the clarity. So be careful with this one. However, I will say, I am a bit of a normie. I like clarity. I think it looks kind of cool. Dehaze, that's gonna be if your photo is hazy, obviously. Also, I'm, again, a bit of a normie, and I like a little bit of a vignette, but a real soften. If you go like this, you're gonna look like a 50-year-old mom's Instagram, okay? So like 1 to 3 maybe, and then feather.
Some might even say that's a lot.
Well, it's weird. Now, color is kind of a restoration type of thing. So if you're adjusting the color, a lot of times you're just doing it to fix something. Like say the lights look really green, you're gonna be moving that slider around to kind of balance those colors out. However, it can be also used stylistically. Like say I want like that kind of green hazy look, I can pump a little bit of the green into desaturate it. For this one, we're actually gonna go the other way. I like a bit of a purple look. That is where I'm a little bit not an army. Bring the warmth up a tiny bit, and then saturation down. Okay, if you take nothing away from this video except this, that's totally fine. Don't crank your saturation up. It's the first thing photographers tend to do when they're starting out. They like pump in the colors because they think, oh, it looks so vibrant and bright. It looks bad when you do it too much, okay? So if you really care, you can increase the saturation if you need to. But most of the time, as a professional photographer, I end up taking the saturation down. So just be careful with that. Take it down to a decent level. Adjust the tint a little bit. Can we just admire the quality of this photo right here? Now, a thing I like to do is use the grading tool. Now we're in the optional phase. This is, everything's kind of correct on this photo how I like. Now we're gonna do some stylistic things. So you can see there's some blue light in the background behind me. It's kind of like a tealish color. I think it's kind of cool. So I'm actually gonna bring the luminance of it up a little bit. and the saturation up a little bit. And you can see it's real subtle, but it kind of makes that RGB behind me pop a little bit. And then we're gonna come over to the yellows, and then you can see the wall kind of in the background it's supposed to be white, but it's kind of having a yellow look because of the lights we have in the room. So I'm actually gonna pull the saturation of the yellows down a little bit. It's gonna take a little bit away from the skin, but as long as we're careful with it, it should still look natural. The main thing to focus on when you're editing photos is skin tones. If the skin tones start to look weird and unnatural, the whole photo is just gonna go out the window. Nobody's gonna like to look at a photo where the person looks like an alien, unless you're watching all of the Marvel movies. Would you like to see a Gamora version of me? Hang on. Stared at it too long? Kinda gets normal. There's tons of other tools we get into with this. We can crop our photo to resize it. Say I'm posting on Instagram, we'll do 16:9 for my story, crop that down. But that's just kind of a basic look at the main tools in Lightroom. Like I said, it's super powerful app, worth it if you're gonna be posting a lot of photos, and definitely the first step into making your Instagram look a little spicier. Salve. That's definitely getting cut out of the video. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any more questions about how to use Lightroom or any other creative program, definitely let us know. And also, if you want to see more of these, I have a plan to do some DaVinci Resolve editing videos because that's something I am much more knowledgeable in. But that's just a quick look at Lightroom. You guys have a great day. Peace out, homies. Nutter butter.